Hello everybody, Chef Archie Pie here. Welcome to my latest video presentation. I'm going to cook a sautéed chicken, garlic, rosemary and white wine casserole today. It's approaching winter here in the UK, and chicken casserole is just one of those dishes in the winter that's welcome on pretty much everyone's table. This is a simple chicken casserole. We don't have a lot of ingredients involved, but the flavours happening in this casserole are all about herbs and lots of garlic, and it goes with anything, any carb you have, rice, pasta, potato, anything. So without any further ado, let's look at what we're going to need. I'm not going to use 4 drumsticks and thighs. I'm using free-range corn-fed chicken. I've seasoned the skin side with salt and pepper already. Also, I'm going to use some fresh herbs from the garden. Got rosemary, thyme, parsley and bay leaves, lots of crushed garlic. I'm going to use too, which will be the main flavour of the sauce. I'm also going to use some onions, some good quality chicken stock, some dry white wine. What you don't see there is butter and flour, and we'll also need some salt and pepper. All the ingredients and measurements will be in the description below. Okay, I've got 1.5 ounces of butter sizzling away in my shallow casserole pan, and once that's nice and warm, I'm going to pop my chicken pieces in, skin side down. And like I said, I've seasoned the chicken with salt and pepper. Only done the one side though. So once all the chicken's in the pot, I can now season the other side with some just regular salt and pepper, whatever you have with you. You can use it from the pepper mill, or you can use it from the salt and pepper pots that I'm doing today. As long as we get some flavour on that chicken, that's the main thing. There's a little bit of salt going on there, not a great deal, about 1/2 teaspoon in total. So once the chicken's sizzling away, give it about 3 or 4 minutes in that pan. It starts to make a noise. I'm going to now scatter my herbs in between the chicken pieces. We want to get those herbs in between those pieces. We want to sit them in the hot fat so that the flavour of the herbs completely influences the fat and the chicken in that pan. We got some fresh thyme, some bay leaves that I've chopped up off my tree, and lots of rosemary. Rosemary's quite an influential ingredient in this dish too. So once those herbs have been scattered around, they're starting to get cooked and get their flavours circulating around the chicken. And as I said before, the stage of the dish is to get some colour on the chicken. This stage, I wouldn't be doing this on a very high heat. I'd be doing it on a medium heat because I want the chicken to be evenly browned. So this is a dish that really I wouldn't rush too much. And as I always maintain, a lot of the dishes that I do on here, you can always tweak them to suit you. So you could use breast pieces for this dish. You could use you could cut it any way you want, but I would cut the pieces into small pieces, and I would also leave the bone on. So there you have the pieces there. They're beautifully brown and they're starting to take on a good appearance, and the herbs are starting to influence the dish, and it's all sizzling away, and the smell from this particular stage of the dish is fantastic. So I'm going to remove the chicken at this stage because we're going to develop the sauce in order to return the chicken once it's got lots of flavour. So to do that, we're going to add our onions to our pan juices, all those along with the garlic and parsley, pan juices that have accumulated all the flavour from the chicken and the herbs and this butter, and we're going to scrape all those lovely yummy bits from the bottom of the pan. Lots of flavour on those little brown crusty bits. And after you've cooked the onions and the herbs and the garlic for about 5 minutes, it's time to add some nice dry white wine. I'm using a hard nylon spatula at this stage. My regular spatulas won't do. So I've added a cup of wine And we want to reduce the wine by half. Basically, turn the heat up, bubble it away, and when you feel the liquid content in the pan has shrunk, it's reduced by around half. It's not that difficult to estimate by looking at it, to be honest with you. Once it's reduced by half, it's time to introduce some really good quality chicken stock. And I'm using the chicken stock that I made. You can use a regular commercial chicken stock. Once that's in there, bring it to the boil, return the chicken pieces to the stock. And now it's all about simmering the casserole in the pot. Bring it to the boil, turn it down to a simmer, pop the lid on and cook for around about 50 to 55 minutes. And now, I promise you, that chicken is fall apart tender. And the smell in your kitchen at this stage will be divine, I promise. So the chicken is completely cooked. So now we need to thicken the sauce. So let's remove the chicken again. Okay, and I'm going to take about 8 to 10 tablespoons of fat, butter and chicken fat combined off the top of my stock. And I'm going to almost base this thickening method on the roux method of thickening. So I'm adding a few tablespoons of flour to the fat I took off the top of the stock in a plastic bowl. I'm mixing it up to a paste, mixing it up really well until there's no flour left in the bowl. And now I'm going to add a few ladles of stock to the paste, and I'm going to whisk that stock into the paste in the plastic bowl. And then once it's nice and pasty and reasonably smooth, I'm going to return it to the stock. Make sure the heat's about medium at this stage, and then gradually whisk the paste into the stock, and now your sauce will have formed. It might be a bit too thick. Whisk all those lumps out. I'm adding a little bit of gravy browning, we call it here in the UK. It does exist in other parts of the world. I think Maggie do a version of this. But yes, it's a colouring that we add to liquids to make them look like gravy, make them look a little bit more appetising. And to be honest with you, at this stage, I felt the sauce was a bit thick. So I threw in a cup of water, and it's very rich. The water's fine. It resembles a consistency I'm very happy with. And as I said, you can see all those lovely herbs floating around, as well as all those specks of garlic. There's a fair bit of garlic in this dish, and the smell is wonderful. Pop the chicken pieces back in, bring it to the boil, pop some extra pepper in if you want to. I like pepper, a little bit of, I didn't add any extra salt, I just popped some pepper in. But obviously you need to taste test it yourself. Look at that. Really is fabulous. It's a truly wonderful dish, and I'm serving mine with mashed potato and some green vegetables. There we are. It's going on the, look at that. I can't tell you how good this was. It was pure comfort. This is that sort of dish that will warm anybody up this time of year. A good old chicken casserole, lots and lots of garlic, lots of flavour, very herby. But the chicken is fall apart tender. Mashed potato, I've got some broccoli and I've got some chopped cabbage there that I've flavoured with a little bit of chili crisp on top. So there you have it, chicken casserole, sautéed chicken casserole with rosemary, garlic, white wine, bay leaves, parsley, chicken stock, a fabulous, fabulous dinner. Everyone, thank you so much for looking at my latest food presentation on this video. I have great fun doing these. If you like everything, please subscribe, share, like, or even press the notification bell if you want to learn about my next video. This is Chef Archie Pie, thanking everyone for watching, sending you all lots of love, and I promise you I'll see you very soon. Do take care of yourselves.